Alrighty, welcome back to the We Read a Wikipedia Page podcast. I'm Josh Graves.
Did you say welcome back?
Yeah, because, we're back.
You were just talking to us. You're welcoming me back.
I'm welcoming you back. You're my best friend, David Mendelson. You're the co-host.
That's sweet.
Your voice is, you guys just heard Dave. He was that other person that spoke. And, we're going to start the episode now. All right, today
I'm out of here.
You're good. You're fine. Are you looking? Grab a pillow, for God's sakes. Do you want to start the intro over? Let's start the intro over.
Go ahead.
Are we going to call it We Read a Wikipedia Page? Is that too stupid?
I like Wikipod.
Wikipod.
Wikicast.
Wikicast?
Wikipod.
Wikipod. Okay, welcome back to the Wikipod podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having us back.
Yes, I'm the host, Josh Graves.
David Mendelson
is the other host of the show. And today we are going to be delving into...
Why don't you explain to them that I don't even know?
David doesn't know. Oh, yeah, I'll explain the format. Every single episode, I read a Wikipedia page.
You don't know that we're going to do it every single episode.
I read a Wikipedia page to my best friend, David Mendelson. He has no idea what we're going to be speaking about. And today... we're going to delve into the deep, dark underworld of autoerotic asphyxiation, otherwise known as asphyxophilia, hypophilia, or breath control play.
Wait, that's when they masturbate and choke themselves out, right?
Okay. I knew you'd know something about it.
But what's the acronym for it?
NOAC. Well, I guess AEA.
Nah, I thought it was called something else also.
This just says erotic asphyxiation. I thought it was auto.
I thought it was auto. It doesn't have to be auto, I suppose.
I like auto.
You could have somebody else choke you out.
Oh, is that what that is? That
I
auto?
think auto implies that you're doing it to yourself.
And then
auto, like you don't need help.
But just erotic is just you. That's just you in the closet.
It's just what you're doing is rather erotic.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's just an erotic.
I thought it was always you by yourself.
Like an
autobiography. That makes sense.
Auto.
A little bit.
When you put something, auto. It's when it go. Auto means. I don't know. What does auto mean?
It says that it's variously called, like I said, asphyxophilia or breath control play. I've never heard it called breath control play. I've never.
That's just like a nice way of saying it, I think.
It's like a non-perverted way.
Just so you know, I just want to be up front. We just met on Tinder. I'm very into, what's it called?
Breath control play?
I'm very into breath controlled play.
Yeah, I like to experiment every now and then. I don't know if you've heard of asphyxophilia. I don't know.
Are you into breath control play?
Yeah, it's just a little control, we'll play a little bit. It is the intentional restriction of oxygen to the brain for the purposes of sexual arousal. And, the term autoerotic is...
Yeah, I am still stuck on that because it doesn't mean it's derived from the word.
No, you're actually 100% right. Auto, the next sentence. The auto just means that the act is done. To the person of themselves.
Yeah.
Colloquially, a person engaging in the activity is sometimes called a gasper.
Is that right?
That is
Wait, the gasper is the person who chokes you out?
That's like your spotter.
Right.
Yeah.
They do that in crack smoking too, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, like one person smokes crack and one person looks out to make sure that you're in a safe environment. They make sure that there's nobody coming, no police,
Isn't it weird that this is probably safer
no
than
non-crack smokers?
This is probably safer than smoking crack. Would you agree?
Smoking
crack is probably safer than this.
I think it could be a fun mix.
Both in one night? That's a hell of a night right there.
I think a lot of auto you hear the stories about people checking into a seedy motel room and smoking crack or doing some sort of drug, and they're found hanging there. We don't know that there wasn't masturbating between the crack smoking and when they were, how do you know? How do they know when they find somebody hanging there that's what they did? Is there cum on the ground? I guess there would be cum on the ground. I'm guessing
there's semen somewhere around.
Grease on the hand.
Maybe like a plastic.
Yeah.
Something around
it
the
would
neck.
probably be pretty simple, actually.
Marks around the neck. Yeah, it's probably like a very shut and close. They they're probably relieved. They're like, oh, it's just an autoerotic.
Watch your step.
Short investigation. There's not a lot of,
They walk in, they see him hanging. Probably the very first thing that they do is they look down and they're like, "Okay,
yeah,
what here?
Let's
find the crack and I'll go home."
It's a little flaky down here. It's a little,
Well, it depends how long. It depends.
I mean, what are we talking? 20 minutes. It gets a little.
It could be several days before somebody is
There's probably a stain
reported and found.
As far. But basically, there's arteries on either side of your neck that carry oxygen from your heart to your brain, and when those are compressed, like when you're strangulated, that loss of oxygen can increase feelings of giddiness, lightheadedness, and pleasure.
Giddiness?
Giddiness.
That's the word that they use?
You get a little giddy. You get a little. All of which heighten.
And if it's auto, it's kind of a bummer to be feeling giddy and be all alone.
I wonder if the gasper sees you starting to get giddy and they get a little giddy too.
Oh, you're assuming that there's a gasper. I'm saying the auto people.
By themselves.
And you're all, right, and you become giddy. You probably want to talk to somebody or share
your
giddiness with somebody.
I'm just wondering if the gasper sees the giddiness in the person's eyes and they get giddy too.
Giddy up.
But yeah, it's basically there's hallucinations.
Getting a little giddy over here.
It's been compared to climbers' altitude, like I guess climbers that climb on rocks and whatnot, they hallucinate too when they get to a certain altitude.
Sure.
Similar thing.
They become giddy?
They get a little
So
giddy.
is that what they're after then? These thrill seekers?
Yes.
They're after the giddiness.
Basically, this says, combined with the orgasm, the anti-circulation is said to be no less powerful than cocaine.
Interesting.
That's food for thought.
So maybe what happens if they can't get the crack, if they can't get the coke, they're like, I've got an idea. I know a way that we can achieve that high without having to break any laws, so to speak.
That's why I think smoking crack and this in one night.
Because this is an illegal act, is it not? They are still breaking the law.
Not
that they can get arrested for it.
No, I don't think you can.
No.
People are going to judge you.
Yeah.
But no.
What about the gasper? Does the gasper get in trouble if shit goes wrong?
I'm thinking maybe manslaughter. Or woman slaughter, whatever you want to.
When you said manslaughter, I always thought you were like describing like a sandwich or something. A side of, I'll have a Reuben sandwich with extra manslaughter.
A little
Side of manslaughter.
A little slide of coal slaughter if I could grab it and whatnot. But yeah, basically the practice has been documented since the early 17th century.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's been going on for quite some time.
I'm surprised they haven't cracked down on it yet.
It was first used as a treatment for erectile dysfunction. So before we had Viagra, you had to choke yourself and jerk off. Which is, I'm glad we have Viagra now because this seems a little less. Viagra much more
interesting.
So the idea
that's like the ultimate. It's like a life-size cock ring.
Exactly, but I mean, golly, you might as well just stop having sex. I mean, Jesus. But the idea that the people could use that for erectile.
They didn't have Blue Chew back then.
They didn't have it. No, there's no Viagra, no Cial. You had to fucking get a plastic bag over your head and get a gasper going.
Get a gasper.
Get a gasper going there.
Gasper.
Get a gasper. The idea, the reason the people had thought that they could do that for erectile dysfunction, it most likely it came from the fact that people were executed by hanging back in the 17th century, and observers at public hangings noted that male victims developed an erection, sometimes remaining after death.
That's the giddiness.
A death erection.
That's where the expression "giddy up" comes from, I believe.
That's a symptom of giddiness, actually, right there.
Giddy up.
Not only at these public hangings did sometimes they have a boner right afterwards, sometimes they even ejaculate. Post-mortem ejaculation.
So not only do you poop,
I had no idea you got a boner.
Nor did I.
This is all news to me, folks. But I got to say, those public hangings, woo, we're really
There's a reason to attend one.
Right. But that's not. That's actually that's a different. The reason that happens is not. It's not because autoerotic asphyxiation. It's basically It's because when you die, I guess your muscles relax to a certain point, and that.
The pooping?
Well, no, the boners.
That
and
would be
whatnot.
no. The boner would be a form of rigor mortis.
Oh,
I'm guessing.
right.
I'm guessing.
Well,
It's just a guess.
there's. I believe that it's that this is that they only thought that, and that it's actually that's not the reason and whatnot. But basically, various methods are used to do
when
this.
You're cutting off the circulation. I mean, yeah, that doesn't, isn't that? That seems like that would be naturally what would happen. You would stiffen up.
Yeah, see, this is basically it's because of disseminated muscle relaxation.
You tense up. You
Well,
tense up. You tense up, Josh.
Post-mortem ejaculation occurs because of muscle relaxation. That's different than erotic asphyxiation.
What do I gotta die to come around here?
So the people saw that and thought, oh, well, if it works for the dead hanging guy, I guess if when I get erectile dysfunction, I'll choke myself.
Well,
They
they stumbled upon Viagra. Viagra was originally to be used for something else, and the boners were the side effect.
Oh, really?
And then they just zeroed in on that.
Well, that's a future.
Forgot-
That's
yeah.
a future episode.
Could be.
But
Could be.
there's various ways to practice various methods. You can do a plastic bag over the head. You can do self strangulation.
Auto.
Some combination of these. The practice can be dangerous even if performed with care and has resulted in a significant number of accidental deaths. Right. Basically, it says.
Can we name some?
We will later on.
I can only name two off the top of my
We'll get to it. It's gonna. That's towards the end.
head.
But basically, in 1995, there was basically the estimates. Of
What year?
This is 1995. Estimates of the mortality rate of autoerotic asphyxia range from 250 to 1,000 deaths per year in the United States. Doesn't that seem inflated? Not to pun, not intended. That seems a bit much. 250
Per year?
I don't know if I'm
to
reading.
1,000?
Yeah, per year.
250 to 1,000
1,000
people. I
deaths.
mean, that's first of all, that's a pretty wide range of people.
Yeah,
That's you got a 750 person
It just seems like it seems
autoerotic asphyxiation swing there.
That's the one thing I read on this. I was
Not
like,
a swing, but
that can't be true. But cases have been reported in Scandinavia, Germany,
250 person swing.
Yeah. It's sometimes mistaken for suicide, obviously, and it's a major cause of death in teenagers.
Still not a swing.
No. But death occurs when the loss of consciousness caused by the partial asphyxia leads to loss of control over the means of strangulation, resulting in continued asphyxia and death. While often it's incorporated into sex with a partner, others enjoy this behavior by themselves, making it potentially more dangerous.
I was only aware of it that way.
You know who would have been great at this is Houdini. Because couldn't he get out of stuff?
Apparently not.
Well, because he drowned.
Houdini died from getting punched in the stomach, didn't he?
I thought he drowned. But I feel like if you have to be
our magicians mixed up.
I'm just saying, I feel like magicians would be great at autoerotic asphyxiation because they can, like David Blaine should be doing this every day.
He would be a great gasper if nothing else.
You would be a fantastic gasper.
He could be my gasper.
Oh, you can be. It's like my Huckleberry.
I would change my name to Casper.
That's the thing that came to mind.
Casper the Gasper.
Gasper the friendly jerk-off buddy. In some
the
cases,
friendly lookout.
Yeah, the funny.
No, Casper the friendly Gasper.
Casper the friendly Gasper. Maybe that's how he died. I don't know. Basically, in some cases, the body's discovered naked or with genitalia in hand.
Wait a minute.
I'm reading things here. It's all I can do is read them. All I can do is read. So sometimes they're discovered with genitalia in hand, sometimes with pornographic material or sex toys are present, or with evidence of having orgasm prior to death, which we discussed. Bodies found at the scene often show evidence of paraphilic activities, cross-dressing, masochism, which is, I think, when you're into pain, I believe. Isn't that? Sex with pain kind of deal?
Sadomasochistic.
I don't know. Cases.
S and M.
There's been this says cases involving teenagers. Families may disturb the scene by sanitizing it, removing evidence of the perviness, and this can basically lead to making it appear like a deliberate suicide rather than an accident.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking.
Shocker! The great majority of deaths.
That's why you don't hang yourself. That's why you don't hang yourself.
No.
If you're gonna kill you, if you're going to kill yourself, hanging yourself will just leave too many questions. I believe even Robin Williams, there were questions about that he was doing that.
There were a couple questions.
Was he?
This is going to be a shocker. The majority of the deaths are male. Surprise, surprise.
The majority?
Yeah. What does that mean? Can women do? The women do? Can you?
Women like to get choked.
Yeah, but
not all women.
This says
would admit to it.
The next thing it says is among all known cases in Ontario and Alberta from 1974 to 87.
Can I say something? I don't like to get choked. I've never been choked.
I've never been choked.
I mean, I've been choked like in a violently,
yes.
not sexually.
That does happen from time to time.
And I didn't like it, and I didn't get a boner from it.
It can't happen with women though, because
I actually didn't get a boner for like 3 weeks after it.
After someone choked you?
Yeah.
You must have been choked badly.
I was just scared after that.
Yeah, that's a scary thing. No breath. The air when the air's cut off. I don't see how that you find that enjoyable.
I didn't. The person choking me, he didn't want me to find it enjoyable.
Women can do this though, because this says, like I said, I don't know why it references Canada, but in Ontario.
Wait, what?
The next sentence. It says, in Ontario and Alberta from 1974 to 87, there were 117 cases, and
it's cold there.
Only one was female. Some individual cases of women with erotic asphyxia have been reported. The main age of accidental death is mid-20s.
Woman.
I know. I never.
She may have just hung herself. Like, how would they even determine that she was doing that? There's no.
You diddle down there, I guess, while you're being choked, maybe.
But where's the evidence?
Women can masturbate too.
Where's the evidence that she was masturbating? She's not holding her vagina in her hand when they find her hanging there. There's no semen on the floor beneath her.
I know, that's so weird. I always think of it as a man doing it.
I've only thought of a man as doing it.
That's what I mean. Well, that's a fun gal. A fun lady, as some would say, but
especially
it's mostly young people, obviously, that are doing it. But deaths have also been reported by adolescents and men in their 70s. Jesus, if you're doing that in your 70s,
I don't think it's something that you should try after 40. I think
40. I'm thinking maybe 30.
Well, I mean, if you're a 40-year-old who lives well, a strong 40-year-old,
about to say
a healthy 40-year-old,
very, very healthy.
Yeah,
but obviously, there's
certain sports, that are only good up to a certain age, that you should only play up to a certain age, and I would say autoerotic asphyxiation is one of them.
You gotta hang the jersey.
Golf is not one of them. Tennis is not one of them. But hanging and jerking is certainly one of them.
You got to hang up the jersey at some point.
You got to hang up.
If you're doing this, guys.
You got to hang up the hanging at some point.
Obviously, there's been cases where lawyers and insurance companies have brought cases to the attention of, doctors because life insurance claims are payable in the event of accidental death, but not suicide. So there can be sometimes, things get dicey. Famous cases. Obviously, the first person that everyone comes to mind is David Carradine, the actor from Kill Bill. Who were you thinking of?
David Carradine.
But you said there were two. Who was the other one?
The guy from INXS.
INXS?
The lead singer from INXS.
Oh,
Hutchins. Robert Hutchins. Or was it Hutchins' son? Robert Hutchins.
Robert Hutchins. He's not on this list.
Oh, yes, maybe it was just a rumor that's what he was doing, but that's...
It could have.
That's the way it was reported. That was his cause of death. Was autoerotic asphyxiation gone wrong?
Kevin Gilbert, who's a musician and songwriter. I have no idea who that is.
Did they list anybody who did it but didn't die?
No, those people are just out and about having the time of their lives.
They're the ones who wrote this.
They're smoking crack. Yeah. Someone who's those are the true. I wonder if there's like
It
a
really
meetup.
doesn't mention Robert Hutchins or Hutchinson.
I don't see. There's all these. I don't see him.
You never heard of that?
No, I've heard of that song you just.
No, but have you heard that the guy from InXS died from that? You've never heard that? I mean,
no,
it's kind of before your time, but so was David Carradine.
No, I know. I remember when Carradine.
You remember?
Carradine, it says Carradine happened in 2009, and basically the medical examiner performed a private autopsy. It was
2009.
hanging. It was I remember this. It was he was in Thailand, and they found him in a closet in his hotel. There was evidence of orgasm. And
he was found in Thailand, all right.
And they they reached out
to Thai.
This part I find where they reached out to two of the ex-wives who both stated publicly that his sexual interests included self-bondage. So they basically.
I'm gonna do a little side googling here,
they
Josh.
Concur. Are you gonna find a search if the one guy?
I'm going to find.
I can do it right here. What's his name?
Just
Robert.
Just do InXS.
Give me his name.
I don't know. It's Robert Hutchins or Hutchinson.
Hutchinson.
Well, it'll finish it for you if you got it. Well, just Google the guy's name, man.
Author, historian.
No.
This guy wasn't that famous.
Stop it.
I don't think he did.
Watch this.
You gotta do this quickly. Hurry up.
InXS.
But I remember when it happened to Carradine.
Lead singer.
My dad explained.
Robert Hutchins. You probably spelled it wrong because I wasn't thinking it was spelled like that.
Look, see how he died. Get to the. Get to the
Well, I thought maybe you would try to beat me to it.
Get to the Wikipedia.
Okay, well, here we go. Sydney died November 22nd, 1997. Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. Listen, man. Listen. Here we are. Now we are in his Wikipedia page.
Go to his death.
Died.
Death.
I know what to do.
Death. Oh.
Boom.
How did he die? Maybe they thought it was.
On the morning of November 22nd, 1997, Hutchins, age 37, was found dead in a room 524 at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, Double Bay,
Fancy.
Sydney. Kim Wilson was the last person to see Hutchins alive. So she wasn't his...
Gasper.
She wasn't the Gasper. Or maybe she was the Gasper, and then she fled. When she saw him getting too giddy.
Fled the scene.
She didn't like it. Was the last person to see Hutchins alive after partying with him in his hotel room prior to his death. Geldof and Yates each gave police statements. Volunteer.
A lot of conjecture around
Police
this.
statements and evidence. Geldof did receive a call from Hutchins, who was hectoring and abusive and threatening during their phone call. Autopsy. Suicide while depressed and under influence of alcohol and other drugs. It doesn't mean he didn't whack off.
Yeah, he could have totally. They could have covered it up. I'd say basically.
So to speak, they could have mopped it up.
Could have mopped up that old.
Wiped it up.
Jizzy McJizz.
You wouldn't have to mop it up, right? That's a lot of that's.
I think the most confounding part of this is that women have died from this also. And I'd say in final summarization, if there's any women out there who need a gasper, we both just raised our hands, which is hilarious for the video, but I feel like the listeners at home are gonna not know. It was a really fun moment for everyone who's listening at home.
Oh, man, your mouth to God's ears.
Oh,
Listeners at home.
This was a fun episode.
It was, and I think that would have been a great way to end it. But like you're right, you had to explain it.
Yeah, we'll know the video, on YouTube. We'll get that. So
yeah, or they can come to our Patreon and see it there.
That's true. Well, until next time, everyone, be careful out there if you're gonna auto-erot. You know what I'm saying? I always have a gasper.
There's a safe way to masturbate, and I would say doing it hanging from the rafters is probably.
Gasper, the friendly jerk off
the
friend.
least safest way to do it.
All right, everyone. Good night.